Hello everyone, welcome back to Omegon 2 Electric Boogaloo. Hope you're having a marvellous day today. Since we don't get many views over here, I thought now would be a good time to start delving into individuals I think are so inherently stupid they deserve a dedicated video showcasing some of their stupidity. With the person we're going to cover today, I don't need much of their content to make a point. Much of what they do relies heavily on them being active in the political space. They are quite young, but also using tic-tac, TikTok, tick-shock, tick-plop to drive home their points, to garner the audience, where they expect and demand many things, respect being one of them. The individual, the smeghead of the day, we are going to be speaking about is Dean Withers, a young man that crashed out so many times so hard over politics and over the anxiety pen. I have to show you some of his greatest hits, and we'll start with the anxiety pen because it looks like a vape. He treats it like a vape, but because he has anxiety, this is his constant, his fidget. As someone with anxiety, I find the best way to tackle it is to talk to people, or to go for a really nice long walk listening to the loudest and most aggressive gloriousness of power metals. It's fantastic, I promise. Others like to eat themselves into a coma. Dean likes to vape, but tell everyone it's an anxiety pen. Oh, and by the way, the vast majority of anxiety pens contain within them CBD oil, which is why people think of them as a vape, because they're CBD vape pens.
Anxiety.
Let me just
Okay, get it right, buddy. Anxiety.
Just give me a minute, Socrates. It's an anxiety pin. In fact, it's my anxiety pin.
Yeah, well, he gives you a lot of anxiety. Why do you need that?
Because I need it!
You sound like you need it. What about the bars, man?
Stop!
I love that someone is, in this instance, providing him a reasonable out. Don't engage with what gives you anxiety. And Dean's response is simply to shout, because I need the anxiety pen. Your mental fortitude is remarkably weak if you can't handle basic confrontation. If you can't handle it, then you should consider being less of a soy-filled bitch and sucking it up. You chose this path for yourself. You cannot expect to be constantly mollycoddled, treated as if you are above the person speaking to you, given respect, because that's not how respect works, all the while you're busy sucking on your anxiety pen. I'm going to go ahead and guess, by the way, someone in my comments has already written, but you can have chamomile in it too, you know. Let's face it, Dean's on CBD and we all know it.
Pen. I'm sorry that I have anxiety. Okay, and honestly, yeah, it is kind of the fault of people like you that want to come up here and bully and berate me over something that I don't do!
You seem a little tense. I'm starting to understand why more of your clips are being shared to Twitter. 5 more years of this, and you'll either have enough grey hair to be considered salt and pepper, or you would have pulled out and will be bald instead, or you would have crashed to the point of no return. Life expectancy is quite high. Stress like this at such a young age could well bring it down. And all because people are pointing out that while it is called an anxiety pen, it can be treated like a vape. You can be pedantic, they can be pedantic. You don't have to rise to the bait, Dean. Just a vape, bro.
Okay, so cut the shit. It's not a vape, alright? It's an anxiety pin, and
The wonderful thing about debate bro mentality is that they will pointlessly correct over things that don't matter. In this case, Dean has to micromanage and be in absolute control of everything. So if you question something different, he will hyperfixate on it, and he will pointlessly correct it to defend the honor of what it means to him. There are millions, more than likely billions of people in this world with anxiety. Hi, one of them. I don't need some crappy vape, though, to deal with it. And yes, it's a vape. I genuinely believed until I bothered to go and look at it. I thought you had a clicky-click pen like a fidget spinner. You just needed something there to occupy your mind. No, it turns out it's something you suck on when you're not busy sucking on your mother.
God, the amount of times that I've asked you to respect me and respect my anxiety pin is, at this point, getting ridiculous.
The part of that really tickled me, I watched it so many times over and over again, was the part from God to respect me. Okay, firstly, not real. Second, never expect nor demand any respect from anyone. You earn it through action and choice. You earn respect in life. If you haven't earned it, people will not treat you with it. If you crash out, there will be many that disagree with what you believe that will rail you, cause there'll be people that agree with you that do the same. They will do it because they can. And you, being the drama queen that you are, expect people to respect you because you have a vape. That's cute. I would respect somebody for having positions, being principled perhaps, if they weren't openly, actively calling for doxers. We'll get to that soon, don't worry, I'm not done with this clip yet.
Cody, so please.
Justified crash out?
For the final and for the billionth time, will you please just respect the fact that it's not a vape and that it's an anxiety pen?
It's a goddamn anxiety pen! Get it right.
What flavour is your vape?
I think that's probably the more important question. If you say CBD, you're proving everyone right. If you say chamomile, you could possibly argue it's not a vape. Maybe a little orange in there too if you want to be creative. A little citrus hit, never harmed anyone. Do not expect people that come onto your show to talk about your political beliefs and you challenging their beliefs to treat you with a modicum of respect, especially when you are known for being somebody that actively seeks for doxers. Because you're an active and known doxer type, there is no version of this where you're going to get any respect in life. There are many within the internet who believe themselves above the rules. Invariably, they find their lives torn apart quickly. So now I've alluded to doxing being something Dean is actively involved in, let's get to reasons, excuses as to why Dean thinks this way, with one of his quaint little conversations with a parent.
If I was dumb enough to send my kid in, it's no different than a baby commercial for diapers.
Can you answer my question? Do you think that you have the right to consent to 65-year-old men looking at your son while he's naked?
I wouldn't allow it.
Do you think
That's
that
my
you have the
responsibility as a
right?
father.
Do you think that you have the right to allow it? Do you think if you did allow it, that you would be violating the consent of your child?
Yes, we're on a subject of consent. This gets weird fast. Now, Dean had shared on his Twitter an out-of-context version of this interaction, leaving out this part. This part's the most important. It's the part where the father says, I would never allow it to happen, so your question is redundant. Because at no point does a child have those kind of rights in the first place. It is the job and the duty of the parent to protect their child until they are of age, so that they can give informed consent onto something, whether that be sex, whether it be go out drinking, whether it be marriage. In fact, many things. Some believe the age of consent should be higher because the brain doesn't stop developing until a certain age. I wouldn't have to worry too much with Dean because I doubt he'll ever get laid, because I can't imagine anyone would knowingly want to have sex with him.
They have no choice in the matter whatsoever. It's my decision as the parent. And I wouldn't put my kid in that situation. That's why I think pageants are weird in the first place. I would never...
Amen.
In this instance, is the father correct? And the answer, in case you didn't know, is 100% a yes. A child has no definable rights when it comes to consent. It is absolutely the parent who has to protect the child and make decisions for them. They are not informed enough, their brain hasn't developed enough, their body hasn't developed enough to make any decisions for themselves. There are many people who put their children through processes and procedures they shouldn't. We can start with genital mutilation and work our way all the way over to pageants. I don't support any of that. I really don't. However, it is still parental decision until a law says otherwise, and no law should exist that prevents a parent from being able to do what their duty is to their child. Dean looking shocked as if this is some kind of scandal is quaint from a guy who'll never have them.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I think that you don't deserve to have any custodial rights over your child. So, for those watching, their handle is goatman91096. It's gonna be their handle. If there happens to be anybody in here that's good at has like facial recognition software, or
Oh, you can find me. It's fine. Nothing I said was wrong.
This is how you know that Dean is quite smooth-brained. His solution is, hey guys, this is their handle, go find them. That's your solution. That tells me everything I need to know about the tolerant left. It tells me everything I need to know about the newer generation of political activists. You are so intellectually stunted, clearly stunted, in every respect, that your solution is not to engage in the fact that a parent, first and foremost, must protect their child and that children cannot give informed consent to anything. That you would then seek to dox, harass anyone else that disagrees with your perspective on this. How absolutely embarrassing this is for you. Go suck on your mother, and when you're done with that, getting milk no doubt, go suck on your vape pen some more.
Okay,
I just said that the kid doesn't get to make the decision.
What's your name?
I would never put them in that situation.
Okay, what's your name?
And why are you trying to dox people, dude? That's weird.
Because I want to find who you are so I could call CPS and have them take your child away from you.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you would like to try to do that.
Yes, I would. So
They would never even do it. That's the best part.
He's right, by the way. CPS would not take away a child from a parent because they don't want their child to be involved in pageants and that children cannot give consent. CPS exists when there is ABUSE involved. CPS get involved when there are a lack of parents, right? They do not get involved when a parent is doing their duty. You, Dean, must have grown up with the biggest silver spoon up your asshole known to man. And I bet you were breastfed until you were in your teens. I could believe that. I bet your mum still brushes your hair too. The fact that doxing's on the table, that doxing is okay to you, speaks volumes about why you're so tightly strung, why you're so easily stressed, and helps me further query, why are you getting more promotion in the wider space? Because I've seen clips of you on TV. You, like Hassan Piker, do not deserve that level of notoriety, and I understand that because social media influencers are a bit of a new thing, they trot out the biggest names. And you've got certainly quite the following, but based on what you're becoming, that following is more based around people waiting for you to have an absolute meltdown. When you one day, if you one day have your own children, try and justify children having consent when they cannot understand enough. Because of your youth, I could believe that you still remember enough about your youth to believe that children can make an informed decision. It's possible you're more intelligent than you let on, but that doesn't mean all children are, and the vast majority cannot be. Informed consent is not as simple as simply them saying, oh yeah, I consent, guys.
Okay, what's your
Because
name?
I would take the part, and I have a witness sitting here who's heard me say I would never put my child in that situation.
Okay, so what's your name?
But don't worry, move the goalpost too, by the way.
So you said that you think that parents have every right to exploit and traffic their children. So
No, that's not what I said.
So I'm not going to debate it with you. That is what you said. So I just putting this out there for anybody. Feel free to take his profile picture. Maybe you could go on TikTok.com/his handle. You could.
At no point, Dean, did the man you're trying to dox say that at all. In fact, the father said the absolute opposite, because they would never allow their child to be put in that position ever. Ever. So the question you kept trying to ask them was redundant. You're trying to acquire a cheap gotcha, and your goalpost shifting is contingent on the fact that they never gave you a definitive answer to the question because they would never allow the question to ever manifest in reality. You, like many that I criticize on the main channel, are, while young, stupid enough to think that by shifting the goalposts because you don't understand sport metaphors, that you can somehow still manage to poison that person's well so that people think of them as a child ABUSE. This is why you're a smeghead. You're here for two different reasons. One, because you're a doxer, and two, because your crash outs are going to be legendary. I can't wait to see more of your 2.0 GPA drama acting. Do let me know what you think in the comments, guys. If you're watching and you got this far, trying to drive up engagement in videos, smash the like, share the video about if you want to. Of course, you don't have to. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and have a wonderful day. Not you, Dean. No, you're a doxer. I can't support that. In fact, you can be a smeghead in perpetuity.
God, respect me. God, respect me. God, respect me. God, respect me. God, respect me.